plugged into the wrong spot.
Did that help?
There we go.
It's a Monday morning.
Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 317.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos. Happy Monday, everybody. I can't believe we are 7 days into April.
We are.
That seems crazy.
So sorry about that little snafu. I was last minute moving stuff from the RV to over here.
Always.
Yesterday was a long day. Tomorrow is meat bird processing day.
Pray for me, y'all.
Are you ready for this?
No, because this is birds that we've raised since they were chicks to this point. So it's definitely a new experience, but I know that I'm up to the task, and I got to tell you, they look uncomfortable. So I think that is going to help in this situation.
They're about a week late for getting processed. These are Cornish cross chickens. So by 8 weeks, they are ready to go.
They just look...
They don't do well in heat, so generally you would only raise them in like early spring, fall. So like you can't raise them during the summer really here in Florida comfortably anyway. And so it is time. We lost a couple while we gone because once they get to be about 8 weeks, they start having heart attacks. Yeah. Because they grow so fast. So what you have to do is basically don't feed them. Or feed them very, very little. Anyway, welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch. If you were new here,
I was just gonna say, because I was holding up a cup and now you have no context because there was no sound before.
Well, it's gonna get cut off.
Cherry Chill in my pretty cup this morning. Which
Cherry Chill is the best flavor.
I like all the flavors, but I need to I don't know. I want them for specific things. Like I don't think I'm ever drinking Cherry Chill right before I go to bed. That's always like a Coco Loco or a Caramel Vibes hot for me.
Okay. Well, I have my favorites. Cherry Chill and guava and then the grapefruit one. Yeah. Groovy grapefruit. So anyway, so like I was saying, welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch. If you're new here, this is all about our subscribers. We do this every Monday at 10 a.m. We do it live whenever possible. And we like to just celebrate our subscribers. Find stories, like success stories, people who are putting up things, inspirational posts on our channel, and also answering questions and about keto and carnivore. So if you have a question pertaining to what we're talking about, the way we do this when we're live is we're going to go over everything we have prepared. We'll address the chat the last 10 or 15 minutes. So hold off to then, or use the super chat function, which is the $ in the chat window. That will help benefit the channel, but it also highlights your screen and lets us know that you have a question. And also just a reminder, please share your story. Yes. Head over to our Mighty Network group. It is completely free. Members.twocrazyketos.com. If you want to support us financially, there are some group options and you get access to, like, Rachel does a live stream on at 10 a.m. on Wednesdays.
Which we will be back this week.
And we do some other things over there as well. They're usually the first to find out some information. Like we have something that we're going to be talking about them later on this week. But that's completely optional. Most of our group is completely free. You can also support us by buying us a cup of coffee with the link down below, or buying our coffee at twocrazyketos.coffee. Yeah, let's jump right in. We're going to start off with this from Zanetta.
Hey, Zanetta.
Now, I am going to say this. So I have shortened Zanetta's post dramatically because it was long. But I'm going to encourage you, head over to Mighty Networks and read it because, like, I was crying reading it. Yeah. It says, I was previously kicking the door of 400 pounds, and then keto gave me hope. I successfully lost 100 pounds, and I nailed keto for over a year. But then I lost motivation along the way, listening to naysayers in my family, and I returned to bad food choices. I felt like the wagon ran me over and dragged me for years. Wow. I got myself in line, though, and I stopped letting people's opinions sabotage my health. I've been more strict keto carnivore for 2+ months. I'm currently doing beef, butter, bacon, egg. And guess what? The family is really going bonkers now. To the one who can relate, or the person that has to war with their family every day about this way of eating, let me motivate you to start implementing your selective hearing. Hello. And eat your meat. Keep going and let no one stop you, even you. And I was told I'm going to die recently, and my dad even rushed to up life insurance policies. Wow. Now, she did go on to say that her sister is supporting her in the journey, but I would encourage you to go read it. Check out this picture from Zanetta. Oh, Zanetta. Absolutely stunning. So excited that you are experiencing all of the
all of the success that you are. That is awesome. I particularly really thank you for sharing that you felt like you had to stop what you were doing because of family pressure. I think a lot of people face that and then, jump off the keto wagon, not because they weren't enjoying success, not because they didn't feel like that they had, found their lane and was doing fantastic with it, but because they love their family and they see that their family is so upset with what they're doing, they just want to kind of not have so much drama at every family function. So quitting just seems like one road out of that.
And the thing is I do think that many times, I'm not saying all the times families are doing it out of love.
Yeah.
Because we have been, let's be honest, brainwashed by big food and big pharma and by social media, by the media itself, the news, all the way back to Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
That we're supposed to look a certain way and we're supposed to eat a certain way. Eat less, move more. Sugar isn't bad for you. I mean, literally the sugar companies have funded studies to show that fat is bad. That's literally where the food pyramid came from. The food pyramid really literally came as the result of studies that were proving that fat is bad and sugar isn't that bad. And then we add on the fact of the Ansel Keys 7-country study, which has been proven to have been falsified information, and yet we still utilize it to create a food pyramid. He lied.
Right, but be encouraged. I know sometimes there's people that just take cheap shots at you, right? There's just some people, they don't like what you're doing. And sometimes the motivation for them criticizing what you're doing is rooted in the fact that they don't want to change their own ways.
Yes.
And it's just very easy.
Like I said, not always are they doing it in love.
To undermine. But, when you see Zanetta's father changing insurance policies, upping insurance policies, that really is I'm
concerned.
That is feet to his faith. So if he believes that because of what you're talking about, studies and all of the propaganda that says we should not be eating meat, we should not be eating butter, right? Then he is acting in accordance with his belief system, right? So there is love. That's not a cheap shot. That is effort to be I love you, I care about you. I think about how many times in other areas do we have a certain love language and you're I just wish this person, whether it is a relative, a spouse, a kid, would love me because this is my love language, or this is what I need for love to look like from you. And they do something completely not helpful and does not express love to you. So it's very challenging in the communication system of just what is love.
And that's why it's so important to be involved in the Two Crazy Ketos family community. I said, head over to Mighty Networks, because then at least you have some support. And we need to move on, but the one thing I want to say is, and I experience myself, what I don't understand is when people get really upset and say you're killing yourself, even when you have the results that Zanetta has had.
Exactly.
Because it's so wait a second, it was okay when I weighed 400 pounds and ate an entire package of Oreos. And when I say an entire package, I mean the big sleeve with 3 of them and 15 cookies in each sleeve. It was fine when I ate a whole package like that every day, 300, 400 pounds. But now that, I'm 200 pounds or 130 pounds or whatever it is, but I eat a lot of meat, I'm not healthy anymore. Yeah. I was healthy then, but I don't understand that. But unfortunately, it's just what people think sometimes. And that sometimes goes back to what Rachel was talking about, where it's really they don't want to face their own issues.
Yeah.
Let's move on to this next one. This was from Tina.
Hey, Tina.
Tina said, I want to share something my child wrote. They share some words every day on Facebook, and they have a heart of gold and love unconditionally. My whole family has gone from standard diet to ketovore way of eating and are feeling healthier every day. And this is what her child wrote. Another week down, and we're still standing. Take a moment to recognize everything that you've accomplished, not just this week, but this month and all year. Every step forward, no matter how small, matters. You matter. Whether you're waking up in a mansion or on the street, you have something to strive for. If you're grinding every day, pushing towards something better, you're already winning. If you don't have goals, it's time to set some, because goals give us purpose and purpose gives us meaning. So this weekend, recharge, spend time with your family, call a friend, play a game, take a walk, do something that reminds you why you keep pushing. Then came Monday. Let's set new goals and chase them down. And what I want to say is, Tina, how old is this child?
Tina, you have raised an incredible human being. I love seeing people, like, you know, when you're like, what is your testimony of like what you have brought to the world? Have you made the world a better place? Like, you're just a child that you have raised to this point. I mean, this is not coming from nowhere.
Greeting card writer.
I mean, amazing.
I feel like some news organization, NBC, ABC, Fox, I don't care which one, needs to hire Tina's child.
Yes.
And every morning when you turn on the news at 7 o'clock, instead of seeing the devastating weather or somebody murdered somebody, should have Tina's child putting up, here's how you start your day.
Start with that, because yes.
Like, I want on that email list.
Me too, because yes, there are events of the day, sometimes extremely stressful ones. However, like just the things you're saying, like we're still in this. If you woke up, you won. You won. You won yesterday because you were alive this morning, right? Like that is a reason to celebrate. And we celebrate that you're alive. I'm very glad you woke up this morning. If you're thinking, I don't have anybody to look at in my house, or, you know, I don't have a friend where I can look at them and they're going to look back at me and say, I'm really glad you woke up this morning. I love you and I appreciate that you're here. Can we be that person? Can I just look at you right now and say, I love you. I'm glad you're breathing in and out. And I'm really thankful for your life.
Next one is from Aaron.
Hey, Aaron.
Has anybody had this experience? I wear a CGM. I just started my carnivorous journey this week. Very little carbs. I did make a mistake of drinking vitamin water with sugar. Anyhow, even without the vitamin water, my CGM is showing above 200. I'm with meds. I am shocked that it isn't coming down. Yes, I had some cheese, some heavy whipping cream, but it should be falling more. I know there's plenty of stored in my system, which needs to be burned off, but just wondered. So, one thing when it comes to CGM, Aaron, I don't know if you've checked it, but I would advise you to finger stick yourself and see how off it is. Is the finger stick close? It should be within about 20, 30 points. Is the finger stick close? Otherwise, there could be something wrong with that particular CGM. They tend to be off. There's also generally about a 15-minute window where it'll lower in your blood glucose before it lowers on the CGM. So that's one thing to look at. The other thing, and I always like to say this with CGMs, unless you're using like the Dexcom, the higher up, and I'm not talking about the one like the Stelo, I'm talking about the Dexcom G6, G7, those things. You can't calibrate them, and when it comes down to it, what you really want to do is be looking at curves, not so much the number. Now, it's a good idea, if it's always in 200, let's say you're testing your glucose in your blood and it's always 150, you know you got about a 50-point curve there, a 50-point spread, but at least you're looking to see, is it flatline? That's really what it's going to help you with.
Is it staying the same throughout the day regardless of what that number is? So if it's 200, we don't like that number, but is it staying consistently 200, or are you seeing what looks like a roller coaster
That's
effect?
Something that you need to look at with a CGM. The other thing with CGMs is, remember, CGMs are measuring the interstitial fluid in your arm, and that is a lot more impacted by hydration than like a blood glucose. Though blood glucose is affected by hydration, the interstitial fluid is really impacted. So if you are not consuming enough water, and you know your body is just like kind of dumping water, you don't have enough water, and you're dehydrating yourself on that aspect, not with the electrolyte aspect, you could end up showing a higher glucose on your CGM because, again, less water, higher concentration of sugar, it's going to show a higher number. Same thing if you are over hydrating, it could show lower. So the CGMs, though they are great, are better for looking at what's going on so much as the number, unless you get into the really expensive ones like the Dexcoms. Thank you.
God bless you. I will say also that if you're drinking something like Vital Water, that's probably what you're used to using for like an electrolyte, something like that, Powerade. If someone is using something like Liquid IV, or you're drinking something that Gatorade Zero, I'm going to recommend that you get a good electrolyte. And instead of using those kind of things as what you're drinking, like a flavored
Get
drink.
Salty, Element, Redmond Relight.
Any of those three is going to be that's going to be a really good source of hydration for you.
Next one is from Linda.
Hi, Linda.
Linda said, I'm new to the group. I have a question. I'm trying to get myself back on keto. I article to give up, I'm assuming this is I already to give up bread. I recently found Hero Bread and I enjoy it. I know it has wheat, but that being said, the rest of the ingredients are pretty clean. It doesn't cause a blood sugar spike. Any thoughts or idea how to get me back on track?
Get rid of the Hero Bread.
I would get rid of the Hero Bread. Okay, so you're trying to get back on track, yet you're clinging on to something that is similar to the standard American diet.
That can make it harder.
It has wheat. End of discussion. I mean, and I know, and I know I follow a very hardline stance on this, and it really upsets people. And we've had a lot of people unsubscribe because I have this stance of the store-bought keto breads are garbage.
Right.
They contain wheat, and a lot of it. This is not like a trace amount of maltodextrin that really doesn't impact you much. Their main ingredient is wheat. Wheat is bad. The wheat in the United States is not the same wheat we find in Europe. Like, I can tell you a lot of people in the keto space, and I'm talking about like higher up people like YouTubers and doctors who they'll try something here as an experiment and then they'll go to Europe and see a completely different result because they have much stricter laws. The bottom line is when it comes to food in Europe and other countries. The United States laws on food is horrible, especially the growing of foods. So number one, I'd get rid of them for two reasons. It's not a good product. It's just not a good product. They're basically trying to capitalize on keto, and they're pumping a bunch of fibers in there to make it look like it's got the right net carbs, and we all know that net carbs is fake. Net carbs is something that the food industry literally made up to sell you products. It was literally made up by the guy who made the industry of keto, were really, Atkins, because people are buying his book, they're losing all the weight, and they can't make any more money. So what do? They come up with keto products, and so you come up with these products for Atkins, but now how do you convince people to buy them and make sure they taste good? You tell them about this net carbs thing. And it used to be okay because
it was like vegetables.
You were taking out vegetables. You were taking out, the fiber and asparagus and maybe the sugar alcohol. But now they're making up fibers.
It reminds me of this is how preposterous it is. Imagine if I said to you, anything that I drink, that when I put it in this cup, there is no calories, no carbs, and no effect at all. It's as if you are drinking water. So if I put a milkshake in here, if I grind up a pizza and I liquefy it and I put it in here, you can drink as much as you want. You can have as much as you want. It's never going to have calories. It's never going to put any pounds on the scale. It's like a free-for-all so long as you use this cup.
Right.
You would look at me and be like, you are just trying to sell me that cup. That's ridiculous. That's there's no way that is true.
Right.
That is how preposterous the net carb game is.
On store-bought products. If you want to use net carbs on vegetables, have at it. So here's the thing.
I wouldn't even practice that at this point.
If you are struggling on keto, and this isn't just for the poster, but for anybody, if you are struggling to stay on keto, you need to get rid of, any keto lookalike for a little while.
Yeah, to get started.
You need to go strict, where your diet should consist of meat, eggs, cheese, maybe a little bit of vegetables for entertainment purposes. You should not be making keto breads, keto cupcakes, keto snacks. You should literally anything that is similar to the standard American diet, like any kind of breads, desserts, chocolates, anything like that, you need to walk away from that stuff for a minimum of a month because it's helping you to stay tied to the standard American diet.
And that's a perfect time to do it when you get started. The reason why being you have one thing that's really going for you when you start the keto diet, and that is you can have fat and flavor. You can eat food. Usually when you're amping yourself up to ready yourself for a diet, you are thinking about how little amount of food you're going to get to consume, how it's going to taste very flavorless, because you're used to that very strict, like no fat, no flavor, you're supposed to be in misery. The joy of keto is there are a lot of amazing ingredients that maybe you have not been using in a long time. Things like bacon, where we used to avoid that. Things like ground beef. You can have that. You can have sour cream. You can have full fat, Greek yogurt. Right. So there's a lot of things that you get to enjoy. So, I understand that there's some dissatisfaction when you think of what you're giving up, but when you're starting the diet, you have this unique opportunity that when you start a keto lifestyle, that first month is flavorful in a way that maybe the month before wasn't.
Right. Next one is from Brianna.
Hey, Brianna.
Hey, 2KK family. I've been seeing this product advertised called Sherry a lot on my Facebook, and I was wondering if anyone has tried it. What are your thoughts? I honestly don't know if I would try it. It looks good, but is it really keto? Listen, I saw this product. I'm not even putting up a picture of it because I don't want to give them any advertisement. But in my opinion, it's junk, especially on keto. So they're basically telling you this is a superfood. And it's powdered fruits and vegetables. And then they're adding in they were adding in xanthan gum. It's like 30 calories for a serving. And then it's got like 9 carbs, but 4 of them are fiber, which is going to be from the xanthan gum. And I don't know what it's giving you. It's not a meal. It's literally something you would add to a shake because what are you going to do with it? And they're basically telling you this has got all these probiotics and stuff like that. And here is something that is going to upset a lot of people, probably not in the keto space, but if somebody outside of keto says it. There is no vegetable that's a superfood. Vegetables aren't superfoods. Meat is a superfood. Beef liver is a superfood. Salmon roe is a superfood. We have put up this post so many times, I didn't even bother putting it in here. There is no fruit or vegetable that comes close to vitamins and nutrients and the bioavailability of those vitamins and nutrients as eating 3 things: beef liver, ruminant meat, and salmon roe. If you eat those 3 things, you are getting every single thing you need other than vitamin C, and your body has ways of working with the vitamin C. That's why somebody like Dr. Sean Baker
does not have scurvy.
Only eats ribeyes for the most part, doesn't have scurvy. Like the whole thing of you need to eat a bunch of oranges for vitamin C is kind of nonsense.
Right.
But the things that they're putting in there, those are not superfoods. Liver is superfood. I don't like liver, but it is a superfood.
They're just capitalizing on the fact that most people
It's a waste of money.
Well, people have really gotten into just like the scoop of, you're making some sort of smoothie concoction in the morning.
They're basically even advertised on their website, and we're going to move on from this, but they even advertise on their website, this tastes better than wheatgrass.
Well, is that a big stretch?
Right, exactly. So I think it's garbage. And also, by the way, something's off of the nutritional label because when you look at all of the things they're saying are powdered up fruits and vegetables in there, and then they're taking the fiber and they're when you withdraw the fiber, it's got it's got 1 net carb. Nope. Something is off there because you can't have, unless that product is 98% xanthan gum and then all this other stuff, which means you're not getting enough of whatever it's supposed to do
or
anyway.
Vegetables.
Next one is from September.
Hey, September.
I want to track food for a while to see where I may be going wrong and help me get back on track. Which tracking app is most accurate and best for keto carnivore lifestyle? I know it's been said before, but I always get Chronometer and Carb Badger mixed up. Also, if you have the subscription to one of these apps, so you feel like you get your value out of it. So the best one is chronometer, however you want to pronounce it, because the information inside is more accurate. Also, the free version works very well. You just have to deal with ads. Now, you get some extra bonus things that I think are worth it because it's only like $50 a year or something like that. So I think it is worth it for the paid version. And it also allows you access to like other people's recipes and people who make maybe make a food and it's not in there, like a home recipe, and you can import all that stuff. The only thing that I would tell you it's not good for is coming up with your macros, but none of them are very good for that. So don't let it determine your macros. You go in and say that you're going to put in what you want. Like, this is how many grams of fat, this is how many grams of protein. But I think it is the best one, and I actually think it is cheaper than Carb Manager anyway.
And I'm just going to put this out there. If you're like, man, I think I'd like to track something too, but I don't even want to deal with an app. You know, a notepad or notes on your phone, it depends on what you're wanting to track. If you're trying to see like how many calories you're tracking, you know, I get it. That's one thing. Or making sure that you're getting enough protein. That's one thing that you're tracking. But sometimes people just need to track frequency of eating and when they are eating. So if you're like, hey, I'm just going to keep a thing on my phone, notes on my phone, and be like, every single time something passes through my lips, I'm going to pause and I'm going to write that thing down. I found more people really, when they find out how many times they're eating a day, and they've discovered that they're sort of grazing, that they are noticing maybe the 2 or 3 legit sit down and eat it meals a day, but they're completely not taking a look at all the grazing that's going on. That really makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Next one. Oh, I read that one. Next one is from Cindy.
Hi, Cindy.
I have another question. I don't know that you have any answers, but I thought I would ask. I have to have a diagnostic mammogram. Should it be determined that I have cancer? Is keto still good way to eat for that? Are there any studies about keto and cancer as it can help? So let's start off with, we are not doctors, nurses, or health professionals.
Correct.
Okay. My mother was a medical oncologist. But I am not a doctor. So I'm going to tell you, with all of the studies that I've done and everything that we talk about is based on studies that we've done, talking to people who are doctors, nurses, and health professionals, is if you have cancer, there is no other way to eat than the strictest possible keto in the world, or carnivore. But if you have cancer, that's what you should be eating. I mean, and we're not going to get into the whole thing about cancer feeds on sugar, which is true, but it can feed on other things as well. But it's going to give you your best check. Yeah. Now, there are several Facebook groups. I do not remember the name of Bruce's off the top of my head.
Oh, right.
But there is one. If I can remember, I'll find it later and I'll link it down below. But we have some followers, some people who very active in the community who have beaten cancer.
Yes.
Using keto and
good
carnivore.
News.
And so, first of all, I think everybody should be eating the proper human diet, some form of it, whether it be keto or carnivore or ketovore, or even getting into paleo, which again, it all falls into eating less than 100 total carbs per day. People ask, Dr. Berry said this, the proper human diet isn't just keto or carnivore. It's basically eating whole foods. Less than 100 total carbs per day, focusing on meat. That's what your diet should be.
Yeah.
The less carbs you eat, the better you're going to be. So we will be praying for you, but if it were to come back, I would get stricter with my keto.
Yeah.
Like, I would eliminate all processed foods or overly processed foods, really focus in on meat and even some vegetables, and really, really limit sugar, alcohols, and other things like that.
That's going to help with any type of medicine and protocol. If you're, if you've got a surgery coming up and you're trying to prep for that surgery, if you're recovering from a surgery, remember, you don't want to have to deal with the inflammation, right? So keto, carnivore can really help with whatever, it works in conjunction with whatever medical procedure that you're doing. And if a lot of times people say if they're going through a process of fighting cancer, appetite is a real struggle, like there's a lot of problems that come with it. Well, you don't have any room for negotiation. You've got to get the most nutrition in, right, in the smallest amount of space. So, that it's going to really help. It's going to benefit.
I did see a post from Carrie saying that meat and eggs are not cheap. So what do I do? I'm going to say this, is there are forms of meat that are cheap. And eggs, even at $4 and $5 a dozen, when you look at the nutritional content of those eggs, they are the healthiest and probably one of the cheapest things that you can eat.
Yeah.
It just comes down to what do you value with spending your money on. Somewhere we're spending $3 or $4 a day on something in our life that we don't need. Whether it be driving our car and putting gas in it, or buying a new pair of shoes or something. We just have to find the value in that. A dozen eggs, if you just ate a dozen eggs a day and that was the only thing you ate, you are getting at least the minimum amount of protein that you should be eating. You're getting somewhere around 860 calories, whatever it works out to be. And then you can add in some just butter or something to up and give yourself. It's at least a start. You can eat things like beef liver. Beef liver is cheap. You can go into stores and find like the offal. You know, literally, if you don't know what offal is, it's the parts that nobody wants to eat. Things like oxtail and stuff like that. It may not be what we want to eat, but it will give us the nutrition, and you can buy it ridiculously cheap.
Well, and another thing, I mean,
you can buy 99-cent packs of hot dogs.
Well, you can buy 99-cent hot dogs. That would be a great start. But it's also something I'm thinking about, like you carry, like, is around here, a lot of times people barter for stuff. And so, like, we were talking to a lady in town. She does not have meat birds. We do. We're going to process our meat birds. And she had said, I will come and help you process your meat birds for a meat bird. So if you go to somebody and you find out, like, who in your local area raises chickens, and say, hey, I will come and help with some farm work. There is never, like, I could use help on this farm every single day, right? So just knowing, like, hey, if there's some farm work that I can help you with in trade for eggs, you know, that could really be a blessing to the farmer, and it's a blessing to you as well. And that's something that we do a lot around here. And if I'm not mistaken, you live in Texas, so, like, I'm sure that there's probably some other farms there. It might help.
Next one is from Laura.
Hey, Laura. So my son called and asked, where are you? I said, French Lick, Indiana. He asked, what are you doing there? I said, oh, just enjoying the rain, flooding, and tornadoes. He said, can't you get that right here in South Mississippi? I said, yep, I'm just here for a different view of it. Haha. But seriously, still staying keto on the vacay. We made our lunch and brought it with us today at the beautiful West Baden Springs atrium. I expected to be a temptation to stray, but so far so good. For those who may be vacationing this summer, it is possible. You just have to implement the Boy Scout motto and be prepared. Hey, if I can do it, anyone can.
So I do want to start off, thank you for the reminder.
Thanks, Laura.
Of the rain and stuff, Laura. That, you know, everybody who is being impacted by the storms in the Midwest is definitely in our prayers. The flooding in Indiana, the tornadoes in Texas, and throughout the rest of the Midwest. You know, please stay safe. I know we got out just in time driving down, even as we were driving
the water
down,
levels on the side of the road.
Yeah, the water coming up
scary.
through Tennessee and stuff. So, you know, please, everybody stay safe. And yes, it is very easy. I think, listen, we're on the road a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, after this last week of driving all the way up to Indiana and then driving home and thinking that I'm driving to Texas in a couple of weeks without Rachel, as we discussed the other day, I'm finding it honestly easier to stay on track and stricter keto on the road
than
I do at home, because there's less distractions on the road. And I know that sounds crazy, but at home, I can open up my cabinet and find Quest peanut butter cups, or I can find granola, or I can sit around and do nothing, which is the worst time for me. But when I'm on the road, I'm focusing on driving.
Adventure.
I don't have access to as much keto stuff. Now, is there stuff out there? Yes, but I don't want to pay for it. So, like, at home, it's cheaper. It's like again, I know Quest peanut butter cups or Quest cookies are not the greatest thing. But you can go to Walmart or on Amazon and buy a 4-pack for $8. But if you stop at a gas station, it's way more. $4 for one cookie. So I don't want to pay $4. So if I don't have it,
we just go without it.
I just go without.
Right.
And so we do have a vlog coming out tomorrow. And we're trying to work on having our videos be shorter or having more of a range of having shorter videos, longer videos, things like that. Because ChatGPT says our videos are too long. And that's why nobody subscribes to our channel. So, but we vlogged everything we ate on the drive from Florida to Indiana. We drove for 22 hours, 1,250 miles, and we literally vlogged every single thing we ate. And we show you, this is how you can do it. And as you said, a big part of it is being prepared.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about even how often are you in the grocery store in a week when you're home versus in a grocery store when you're on the road. We did not go into, I guess we went into Walmart like one time. I did with Chris and Miriam, but we were buying like, stuff to wash the clothes and things like that. It wasn't, it's not like you are maybe 2 or 3 times a week. We're like, what do I feel like eating? And it's driven by that. You may go back to the store several times.
Right.
If you're prepared for it, it's just, this is what we ate because this is what we brought.
Right. So we went, and I know we're long, but we went to, Smokin' Fatty's Barbecue on Tuesday. We don't go out to eat a lot anymore, especially because of where we live.
Yeah.
So we went to Smokin' Fatty's Barbecue, and I never know how much Rachel is going to eat. and this is not a knock on Rachel. I want to be clear. Please don't go, Joe, you're being mean. This is not a knock on Rachel. Especially when we go to a meetup, because a lot of times Rachel will not eat because she wants to talk to everybody while I'm hiding in a corner. So, but then we'll go to a meetup and I will not order something because she never eats. And then she's like, but I was really hungry. So I always order based on Rachel is really hungry. Yeah. And so I ordered
wise man
4 pounds of meat, 1 pound of chicken, 1 pound of ribs. I mean, whatever, brisket, and then I forgot what the other, the pork belly. You ate a little bit, but not that much. We literally ate that every day.
On the way back.
On the way back. And here's the thing. I mean, again, we don't go out to eat a lot, but again, if you're in, that place is not that expensive because I paid like $75 for all of that meat for barbecue in a restaurant, and it's good.
Yeah.
But it's just come down to, okay, if I am going to go out to eat, make sure I utilize all of it. Take it home, put it in the refrigerator, eat it, and then don't think about going out to eat somewhere else until it's all gone. Next one, I thought this was funny, and we talked about this is the problem, right? From Carrie. The food industry is doing everything they can to make our children addicts. These have 8 teaspoons of sugar.
It's literally candy water. Like, they're not even trying to disguise it.
They're not even trying to hide it.
This is candy water. When I start to see things like it's like ground up Oreos or ground up Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and they're talking about it as if it is like finishing seasoning. Are you kidding me right now? Finishing seasoning is basically like cinnamon sugar or like Oreo dust on top of, what are you eating? Like pancakes? Like what are you putting this on? Ice cream? What is the meal that this is the finishing sauce? It's like saying that, Hershey's chocolate sauce is the finishing sauce to like your meal.
Let's take a quick fade to black.
Yeah. Sugar water, like candy water.
Okay, let's get into today's topic from Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
Fat. Is it normal for me to crave fat? I'm more of a ketovore and I eat protein, but happier and more satisfied when I consume large amounts of fat, even with keto bread. A quarter or a half isn't enough. A whole makes me happy and, of course, satisfying. Another influencer states large amounts of fat is not the way to go. By the way, I'm 60 years young, 5'5" and 104 pounds. Okay. This is a touchy subject. First of all, you're right. A quarter of a keto brick's not enough, at least not for me. Which reminds me, I have to call Robert to say you can ship out my keto brick. Because we literally, listen, last week.
We ordered it.
I ordered it on the road. I realized at 2 o'clock, oh my gosh, I missed it. I went on and ordered it, and then I made a funny post like, okay, everybody else can go order it. And I guess my order must have broken the system because then they were gone. But then I had to call Robert or text Robert and say, don't send it out. Because if you send it out, I hope they still have it. Like, it's going to melt in my driveway.
It's a Capri Sun.
So, you can overeat fat on keto. You know, keto's not a miracle. And I love the ketogenic diet, the carnivore diet, the proper human diet, but it is not a miracle. You can still get fat eating on the ketogenic diet, whether it be that you are just over consuming foods or you're stressed or there's other hormonal issues going on. You know, you're not getting off of the couch no matter what you do. You'll see in the video that's coming out tomorrow, it focused more in the camping video than in the one that's on the keto channel. But halfway into our trip, I make the decision that I'm going to try to go from Florida to Elkhart, Indiana, 1,250 miles on a single tank of fuel. And Rachel talks about, well, no, because I say, well, the lighter you get, the better our fuel economy. She's like, no. And I'm like, in a diet, on our body, unfortunately, as you lose weight, your metabolism slows down. That sucks.
It does suck.
Okay? I'm sorry. There's no nicer way to say it, right?
It's frustrating.
You weigh 300 pounds, your metabolism's here. Now you weigh 200 pounds and your metabolism's here. It's not just because you lost muscle. It's that your body doesn't have to work as hard to survive because you dropped 100 pounds.
That's good news, but it also means that like you have to get stricter. There's no more loosey-goosey. Like what you can kind of like get away with on keto when you start may not be what works as
And you have to build some muscle. That will help. Like not just going to the gym and running on the treadmill. That's not going to help. You need to build muscle. That's what's going to increase your metabolism. But that's another topic. So when it comes to fat, there's a happy medium. Your body needs fuel. You can't ditch fat altogether and eat a high protein, low fat diet. We've talked about that. That was the whole purpose of us doing beef, butter, bacon, and egg 3 years ago. If you do that, your metabolism will tank quickly because if you're not eating fat and the only thing you're eating is protein and you're not eating carbohydrates, your body is very quickly going to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Famine.
What's going on? You're not giving me any food. And like, I'm just going to store and try to live off of what I have for the longest time possible. So it slows down its metabolism. I've seen it happen. It happened to Rachel. She was eating 700 calories a day.
500.
And gaining weight. Okay?
70 pounds I gained.
So it does happen. So you have to find that level of fat. If you're not eating carbs, fat is your fuel. How much do I need to eat to maintain? How much do I need to lose? So if you need 140 grams of fat to maintain, you should be eating like 130, not 50. Like just below that threshold. If you are trying to maintain your weight or gain weight, the fat is your lever, not the protein. Unless you're overeating protein, like 250 grams of protein without working out. The fat is your lever. The fat is, as you get to your weight that you want to be at, you start slowly increasing the fat. That does two things. It helps your body not lose weight anymore, and also it can help to ramp up your metabolism, because if you do it slowly, then your body's metabolism will ramp up. You're 104 pounds and you're 5'5". You certainly do not need to lose any weight. If you're trying to lose weight, yes, you need to pay more attention to the fat. But if you are 104 pounds at 5'5" and you are not trying to lose weight and you are eating an entire keto brick and not gaining weight,
God bless.
Have at it.
Yes.
I wish I could eat an entire keto brick plus all the meat I eat every day and not gain weight.
Yeah, and to me, it's like, don't screw that up.
Yeah, your body's where it wants to be.
You got a good thing going, baby. Like, do not screw this up because somebody else is saying, you know, this is not going to work. You have the evidence. You are the experiment on you. You're demonstrating that what you're doing is working. So even if two knuckleheads that you see online say, "Well, change it. Change what you're doing," don't.
And listen, I love a lot of the keto doctors, coaches in that are in the space that are on YouTube. But I am going to say, and this is one of the reasons that though we've always focused on community, we've really shifted towards community, and we do a lot less of like a major educational how-to things. More of, we're going to give you basics on do this, do that. I am a health coach. We can go that way. But we've kind of gotten away from like a lot of the, 3-day this fast, 5-day that fast, because what happens is there's all this noise out there on YouTube. This one says to do it this way, and this one says to do that way. But you're a perfect example. You're doing well. You're accomplishing your goals. You're not having any adverse effects. You're not gaining weight. Why would you change it? But what happens is, and it's not on you, it's on all of us, me and Rachel included, you see someone goes, but it would be better if you do this.
And you're like, well, maybe it would be better.
And that's like the grass is greener on the other side thing.
And the grass is greenest over the septic tank.
Right.
So maybe it's not going to work for you. I also want to just say this while we're talking this topic. No matter how you are doing keto, we love you and you are a part of this community. There is no barrier to entry. There are people that are part of the Two Crazy Ketos family that are not even eating keto. They are eating the standard American diet, but they are here because they are looking for a lunch table where there is a seat. They are looking for somebody to sit next to because you want friends in life. You want to know that there's people that care about you no matter what. And I want you to know that I have an unconditional love for you. So no matter how you are eating, and what you are doing, whether you are having surgery or not having surgery, whether you are in GLP-1s or you are not on GLP-1s, no matter whatever age you are, it does not matter to me. I love you and you are welcome here. That's just it. That's where it's at.
Yep. Next one is from Sean.
Hey Sean, Two Crazy Ketos has inspired me. With all the changes in their lives, I decided it was time for me to change my life. I'm retiring from the company I've been with for the past 27 years on June 2nd. How exciting, Sean. I'm taking a position at another company that will give me the opportunity to work remotely from time to time. This will give me a chance to help take care of my dad. How wonderful, Sean. I never thought this would be possible. The tremendous support from my wife and newfound confidence, along with God's good grace, gave me the inspiration to apply for this job. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you and Keto for giving me the courage to try something new.
That's awesome.
That excites me. That encourages me so much, Sean. Thank you for sharing that. And please let us know in Mighty Networks. Let us know in the comments. Are you trying something new? Because honestly, that is really the intended outcome of changing the way that you eat. It's not just so that you can wear a carnivore t-shirt. It's so that you can do more in life, that you can choose adventures that maybe you thought you were too old to try. Maybe it's something that you never thought that you would have the mobility to be able to do. You were afraid. Maybe you thought, well, I'm going to have to do something in isolation. There's nobody that would like try to do an adventure with me. Like, that's what it's all about. If everybody just gets a smaller t-shirt and they never have a bigger life, that is tragic.
Yeah.
That is tragic. Congratulations, Sean.
Next one is from Amy.
Hey, Amy.
I just watched Rachel Joe's YouTube video and they gave me a great idea. We're traveling to Florida in May and we're staying with non-keto friends. I can order individual packets and take them with us and have them ready-made meals while we are traveling.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That is, again, something else that we do all the time. Next one's from Jeannie.
Hey, Jenny. For those in Canada and wanting Keto Chow, I got an email from Switch Groceries saying that they've got it back in stock again. That's awesome. We love Switch Grocery. There's a limited choice of flavors, of course, and no electrolytes or salty, but this is only the first shipment, so hopefully they'll get more for those who want it. Reminder that Keto Chow had to change their formula to be approved for sale in Canada. I think it was mainly that they added the potassium was way beyond the amount legally allowed by Health Canada. So now there's a lot less potassium in the Canadian formula. I didn't check for other differences. This will limit the variety of Keto Chow products that'll be offered in Canada since it won't be profitable for them to change all their products. Jenny, thank you for sharing this, and thank you for also giving a little context to it, because if you just say like, wow, if I look at what I can buy in America and what I can buy in in Canada, this just seems very unfair. Why is Keto Chow being mean to Canada and not offering all the flavors?
It's the law.
It's the law. And brava to Keto Chow for being willing to say, yeah, it's hard to do this. We're going to have to do a lot more effort.
Change their labels, reduce the potassium.
So much stuff. And yet they're saying that the people of Canada, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it for them to do this extra work.
Next one is from Tanya.
Hey, Tanya.
Just got back from walking my door. I realized I missed Keto Be on the Couch and wondering why I didn't get notified. YouTube unsubscribed me.
Oh, yeah.
I just put this in there as a reminder. Go check and make sure you're subscribed
You
to our
may need
channel.
to resubscribe.
Make sure that you've got, first of all, make sure you hit the like button on every single video for us. We really appreciate it. It really will help grow the channel. We really would like to grow our channel. And so by you interacting, whether it be leaving comments, participating on live streams, and just sharing our videos, that really does help get YouTube to tell people about us. But what happens is YouTube likes to unsubscribe people for, I think, no legitimate reason. So make sure, whenever you get a chance, go check, make sure you're subscribed, and make sure you still have the bell notification.
Remember, when we get to 100,000 subscribers, we will
the next 2KK cruise, you'll get a free.
There's somebody getting a free cruise.
Yep. Next one is from Janice.
Hey, Janice.
What is everyone's thought on Doe's mushroom coffee? So we had some.
Yeah.
You tried it. You weren't super keen on it, which is we decided to not make a video because we don't like to bash small companies.
No, we don't. But I'll tell you what it was like. It was very much like, do you remember the International House of Coffee, or, is that what it was called? The one that came in like a tin.
Yeah.
It was just like a tin mixture. And so it was like like a flavored coffee, and you'd get, different ones, and you just mix it with hot water, and it's like dust, and it just mixes. And so I like that appeal of anything that makes it easy. I see the appeal because you've got kind of like a flavor. It's got kind of like a vanilla-y flavor. It doesn't taste like Taster's Choice where they've like freeze dried the crystals. It's more like that International House of Coffee. Did I see a change or like a special boost? Because again, this was like a mushroom focus coffee. So I tried it anticipating, I was looking for a keto brains effect. Does that make sense? Because I do enjoy keto brains. And we use that, I use that every single day. So I tried that coffee at times where I can kind of isolate it. And I tried it for 30 days. So I really wanted to give it a good, valiant effort. I didn't see a keto brains effect using the coffee. It didn't.
You said the coffee just tasted so-so. I know I had a couple cups.
It was like
instant coffee.
It was less than instant coffee. It just reminded me of like a generic version of International House of Coffee type thing.
Okay, next one is from History Amnesia.
Hey, History.
Did you guys dump X? I don't recall hearing Rachel sing it in her spiel anymore. You can find us on... it's funny how I watch Two Crazy Ketos. My husband watches Two Crazy Campers, but we both watch the Double K Farm.
Yay!
You've brought us both together.
I love it. No, we're still on X.
We just, honestly, we don't post as much on X.
We don't do that our whole spiel anymore.
And then more importantly, we don't do the whole spiel before our videos anymore. But yes, we are still there.
Yeah, and on Instagram too.
Next one's from Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Thank you for reminding me that it is about what needs to be done to make it sustainable long term.
And if you need to meal prep in order for you to stay on track, if you need to utilize Instacart to stay on track so that you don't even go into a grocery store and like...
If you need to eat a Quest peanut butter cup to get you to not eat a Reese's, do it.
If you need to look at the season and say, hey, it is spring, and I am going to select a vegetable of the month that is, in season and locally grown, and that's going to make it where you have something fun to look forward to this month, do that thing.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing something that makes it like, I think, like less
we'll
easy,
talk about,
right?
We got another one because we're running out of time. Next one's from Tracy.
Hey, Tracy.
This is the last one. Said, I love that you guys do the fade to black instead of nasty ads. I enjoy listening to your videos while I'm laying in bed, preparing for sleep. So nice to have to not have to get uncomfortable, grab my phone and skip an ad every 5 minutes.
Thank
With some channels. So no, we do not allow ads in the middle of our videos. Is that the smartest thing to do? Probably not. So people think YouTube, oh, you make all this money. You tell people, first of all, it's so odd at 55 years old to tell people, what is your job?
I'm a YouTuber.
I'm a YouTuber. Do you make money doing it? No, not really. Like you don't make money from ads. You really don't. You make a few pennies, and it takes a lot of people to make those few pennies. So it would be smart for us to put the ads in the videos because it's all about how, like, the longer you watch it,
sure.
and we even in the one that starts at the beginning, we allow you to skip it, which is again not the smartest decision in the world.
Yeah.
But I find ads annoying. We leave them on there because the bottom line is it's not cheap to run this. Cameras aren't cheap. Computers aren't cheap. Our website, like, just to put music in a video, it costs me $30 a month. So it's not cheap. So we do have them there, but we really minimize them. And the fade to black is, I haven't been as diligent as I should be in going in and adding the one. If I don't put that there, yeah, they will put one every 5 minutes. And I don't want YouTube putting ads in the video every 5 minutes.
We wouldn't want to see it.
Because I don't want to watch it. That's why I pay for YouTube Premium. So that's why, once again, if you want to support us, consider using the links down below. Any of the links. Just use the links. You know, if you want to buy something on Amazon, you don't even have to buy what's linked down below or on our website. You click on any one of those Amazon links and then go buy,
Toilet paper.
No, I don't like Charbon. Scott's toilet paper. You can buy anything you buy will help. It's just a couple of pennies, but it does help, and it doesn't cost you a penny. And then also help to build us, because the more subscribers we get, the more, like,
we'll
quarter of a penny we get off of an ad.
Right.
So, but thank you very much. We do try. We think about. I look at everything of, like, what do I want? That sounds selfish, but it's like, if I don't want to go through it, it's like Jesus says, love others as you want to be loved. So for me, I don't want to watch ads, so I don't want you to have to watch ads.
Right.
And
seems pretty reasonable.
Okay.
I
love Sarah G.
I do too.
Sarah G, if you didn't know, watched the farm while we were gone.
And such an incredible job.
Such an incredible job, because she even had to bury meat birds.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is amazing. I find sitting on the thing, like, toys for her playing with the animals. I mean, she is amazing. Till I walked into the house.
And she reminded us that we are eating Spam this week, everybody.
So we're going to start on Wednesday, and we're going to eat Spam and eggs only for a few days, just to see.
I'm excited about this
possible.
one. So this one is kind of like a Korean version, probably with that red sauce that they have. I'm excited to try this flavor. And then she got you jalapeno, Joe. So it's like the best case scenario.
So there's 6 servings in this can. It's 2 carbs per serving. So that's 12 servings.
Yeah.
160 calories times 6. So if you eat this and a bunch of eggs, you're good. I don't know how much Spam costs anymore. We're going to go to the store later and get some.
I feel
but I mean, a can of Spam, I think we're looking at like a can of Spam and eggs per day.
Yeah, that's
Is this the healthiest thing in the world? No, to eat. But again, it's more about Dr. Babe. This is not like our recommendation, how to do keto. Eat Spam and eggs.
Right.
It is, you can do keto on Spam and eggs.
But you're looking at 1,000 calories. You're
Roughly.
You're looking at 1,000 calories. You're looking at 6 7s or 42 grams of protein. You mix this with eggs.
Yeah.
You're going to be in a good spot.
Yeah. So again, not the cleanest thing, but
you can do.
It's still better than eating a box of Ho-Hos.
Is this probably mostly lips and buttholes from an animal? Probably, but like I guess it's better to say you can do keto on hot dogs and mustard. It's not so much that you want a t-shirt. Like, you can do keto with just lips and buttholes. I think that's what we're going to be eating.
Let's get into some comments. Amy said, I love the new fifth wheel. I watched the video on Two Crazy Campers. Was drooling. It's so beautiful. So we haven't even put up a video of ours. So the only video we have on Two Crazy Campers is when we first saw that layout. Ours is modified.
Yeah.
So we've made some changes.
Can't wait to share that.
So what we're gonna do is there will be a video coming out. There's a video coming out on the camping channel on our trip up, but that really focuses on just like my stupidity of trying to drive 1,250 miles on a single tank of fuel and telling Rachel that this is a good idea and trying to convince her that it's a good idea to do this.
Marriage.
And then Tuesday will be the keto one on the keto channel, and then we'll also have coming out on the camping channel a complete walkthrough of our unit. On the keto channel, we've got a vlog, and we just kind of briefly show it to you. So if you really want to see everything about it, you'll have to go over to the camping channel, Two Crazy Campers, because I don't want to mix it too much. Just in our eating vlog, we're gonna show you the inside a little bit. But yeah, we are loving it.
Anvil says, it's Andrew here, fun challenge. Does this mean that you'll be posting a bunch of spam videos? And I'm going to be showing how I prepare it. Yeah. Like, we're going to be showing what we do. And, you know, I know we said just spam and eggs, but I'm also open this week, because again, this is not like, hey guys, everybody, we've got to do this, because this is not a beef butter bacon egg challenge.
No, this is not everybody do this with us. This is us
not
being
like
stupid.
Yeah, this is not like,
it's
this
just
is
us
better
being
help.
Stupid.
So I am fine to use this as like the base. But probably, yeah, I'm going to try to make some sort of like...
It really came because I miss Scrapple.
Sushi or something with this thing. You know, like they're showing like a sushi on the back because this is like inspired by South Korean flavors. So I think it would be fun to do like, you know, get some, you know, cauliflower rice and dice it up. And I don't mind
spam and eggs
using like the nori wraps to make something like that.
Okay, Dustin said with the mushroom instant coffee, I added a scoop to my normal coffee and I did notice a difference.
Yeah.
So. Linda said we got a fifth wheel. Yes, yeah, we got a fifth wheel.
Yay. Yeah.
Never say never.
So there's 2 videos on our camping channel with different layouts. And again, I know this is not a keto thing, but you know, if you just like looking at fun stuff, it's so neat to see American innovation at its best, like coming to the marketplace and all of the things that it's very customer driven features. And so it's neat to see what they can do. And it's happening right in Elkhart, Indiana. Like they're making it there. And for me, that's like just so amazing. And the most recent video, that's a layout that no other YouTuber has even seen yet. We are the ones that got the exclusive on that. So that was like a really cool, neat thing for us to be the first ones to share it.
After I pressured him. Barbara said, I enjoy beef tongue too. However, it is very expensive compared to other organ parts. Yeah, beef tongue is amazing, especially if you want to make like fajitas or things like that. But it tends to be expensive because the bottom line is just only one tongue in there.
I see my mom is here, and I just want to give her a shout out if she's still in the chat. I was thinking about you this morning, Mommy. There was always a thing about like, you know, mothers and children and like what's an example of their love, and something that she always would tell that they'd be running out to church and her mother would notice that my mother had a run in her pantyhose, and my grandmother would stop her and they would exchange pantyhose so that she had the one that had the run and Mommy would have the one that was like nice and fresh. And I was spraying my hair this morning. Not that it looks super great this morning, but I was spraying it. And when I went down to visit my mom and Caleb for his birthday recently, she noticed that like she just shook my can of hairspray, and it was like it was coasting on fumes. And she said, you take my can and I'll take this can. And I just was remembering that this morning, Mommy, as I was like doing my hair, I was thinking, she always puts me first. So thank you. I love you. Just wanted to say that.
That reminds me, before we get off, well, we have a few minutes actually. Did anybody see, which I assume is the season finale, and maybe even series finale for 1923 last night?
No, I was asleep. You were watching that?
That was the saddest, but one of the best endings.
Did they kill Han Solo?
I can't tell you what happened.
I hope Han Solo is still alive. That's what I know.
It like I was crying. Yes, I cry. But happy at the same time. Like it was a good ending, and I don't know if it's a season or a series finale, but the way it ended was like, really. But at the same time, you're like, okay, it it was just really good. I think it was a series finale, but I don't know, because I know there's another one coming out, because you find out who John Dutton's father is.
No way.
Yes.
Don't tell me.
I'm not going to tell you. But just really, really good. I don't know if anybody is seeing it. But yeah, it reminds me of what you were just talking about, because there was a part where one person...
Parent puts the kid first?
Pretty much. Yeah, so, so Annette said, I can't believe you're going to eat Spam over Primal Fudge. I know, right? This is Rachel's idea.
I just thought it would be fun. It's been a while since we did something stupid, and this seems like very, very stupid. We put the S in stupid, which is the Spam thing.
Okay, Sean said I have to watch that tonight. You're making me worry about who died. I'm very careful about not ending things for you. Bob wants to know, where did Sarah G get the flavors? I don't know.
Tom rocks keto. Good to see you. Are we going to be going to the Orlando Summit this year? Yes, we are.
We will be there. We will be speaking, and we will be hosting the gala event.
Very excited.
Cynthia said, I feel like I sit down with my coffee and chat with good friends. Please don't rush my chat. Aww. We are sitting here with friends. We don't have to move.
Oh, thank you, Cynthia.
Yes, Cynthia said no spoiler. No, I do not like to spoil.
I always appreciate you guys' input. And thank you. When people say something good, I forgot, where were you? And it was
Sarah got them on Amazon.
Where the cashier was like, no, I don't want you to tell my manager I did a good job.
So there's this guy in Home Depot. I cannot remember the name of him, his name off the top of my head.
You just needed to regurgitate it to the manager.
But we live 30 minutes from Home Depot, and I'm reconstructing a house. So, if you've ever done any kind of reconstruction or stuff, it's like you open up a wall and you're like, I need that too. And so it's like, it's not just a funny meme that a man has to go to Home Depot 50 times for every project he has to do. And
it's the project's fault.
And it's not just the man's fault. Sometimes it's the man's fault, but a lot of times it's
the woman's.
You forgot something, or more importantly, you found another issue that you didn't know was going to exist. So I try to think about all the things I possibly could need. For example, we were in Elkhart, I was trying to hang my TV, and I didn't know what size bolt was going to fit on the mounting bracket on the back of the TV. So I buy like 6 different size bolts, bring them back, find the right one, and then return the ones that we don't want. So needless to say, I buy a lot of stuff when I go to Home Depot and then return what I don't need. So this one guy, he works in customer service, he is great. He's super friendly, very nice. And when they were doing our fence and we needed the wire, because the guy dug up the wire for our well pump, I sent Rachel to buy 4 500-foot rolls of wire. And he was like pretty much like offering to carry it to the car for her.
So nice.
And so I went in, the next time I went in, and he helped me again, and I asked to talk to the manager because I wanted to praise him. And he's like, please don't praise me to my manager. Like, and he finally let me, but the manager was like thankful, and I encourage you to always do that. If you get a really good customer service experience, please find that person's manager, because they only ever get complaints about employees. They don't ever get praise reports.
So the reason why a lot of times Joe's got this like insecurity about we've got to move on and fast is because we get a lot of feedback that people are like, you're too long-winded, shut up, move on. It's like, it's taking too long in the morning and stuff like that. So, if all you ever get is, this is what the people want, then you start to move accordingly. But so when you see somebody that says, hey, let's just, we're fine with it, hang out,
it's like the video that we released last night. It's a brand new unit for Alliance, the 333 bunkhouse travel trailer. It is huge.
It is huge.
We had like 10 minutes to walk through it. And it was like that, or it's going out, and here's the thing. We had to film it, and we had to leave for the meetup in 15 minutes. Yeah. In fact, on one of them, Andy actually commented, I hugged that jacket. That's because we literally filmed it on the way to the meetup. And they're like, you have no chance tomorrow. If you want to be able to film this,
you got 10 minutes, go.
You have it now, because it's end of month. It's going out tomorrow.
I hope there's a battery in your camera. I hope the microphones are working.
And so what do we get is comments from people of like, you didn't show the drawer. It's like, we're going through it. You try to get everybody, and unfortunately, I have yet to learn the lesson. I know it, but I've yet to learn the lesson is you will never make everybody happy.
No. Well, you know what I have to learn the lesson of, Joe, is always going to the squeaky thing that's saying like, hey, I demand attention and I'm like dissatisfied with something. I tend to go right into that, and I need to start ignoring that more and then going to the person who's like, hey, can we stop and talk? I'm content about something. Somebody that's always, nothing is ever good, nothing is ever right. They always have notes. Like I spend too much energy on that, and I need to pivot to like what is going to be life-giving and someone who's really actually ready for help, you know?
Mike said, finally broke down and bought a Kasori dehydrator this week and discovered the meat chips that we can make are going to change everything for us. I miss our dehydrator.
I am so glad that you're doing that. It's the same thing with like the bacon jerky. It's like you can't go back. On our trip home, we stopped at Carol's and we had gotten some beef jerky too because they're making it fresh in house. And
a lot of sausage.
It's delicious, but there's nothing that gets that texture like your meat chips or the bacon jerky, and you really just don't see that a lot.
Sean said, if I'm in a restaurant and I feel the server has done a great job, I will ask the manager at the end.
Yes.
I will tell the manager how great they did, and I give them a really good tip.
That's nice because, again, that's a great thing to remember. My grandmother was a single woman with 7 kids as a waitress. So anybody who is nice to waitstaff, like, blesses my heart. Anybody who is not nice to waitstaff, like, I want to clothes hanger them, just wah. But that is so good because the tip is personal. The tip is between you and them. When you go tell the manager that they're doing a fantastic job, now you're influencing like the shift that they get. If they have been like slammed on a shift where they just don't get a lot of, it's not a lunch rush or a dinner rush, and they're just getting like the cruddy shifts, and then they just get feedback that they're a great waiter or waitress, then they're gonna get a better shift. And that's a real blessing.
So Andrew said complaint posts are still good engagement. Yes,
sure.
Yes, they are engagement.
He loves them.
No, I don't love them, but they're hard to read. They discourage you. Yes, they're engagement. They discourage you. My answer usually back to them is thank you so much for the negative, nasty comment because it really helps build our channel. That makes me feel better when I say that. It's just hard to read them. It is. You have to have a thick skin.
Yeah, you do. What's really funny though is
when they respond back to that.
Well, and how different they are depending on the channel. So we get comments all the time about how unattractive I am on the keto channel. On the camping channel, we got one yesterday like, hey, not to be rude, but your wife is like really hot. And I was like, oh my gosh, I shall handle all of the camping channel things because it's usually like more complimentary on that. Of course I can't because a lot of times it's about technical issues that are like handy issues that they want to talk to Joe about. But I just think that is funny that, talk about if you allow other people to influence how you see yourself, boy, you're never going to be happy, right?
Okay, we are going to get off. I'm looking over there and seeing what was once beautiful monitor.
Yes, our monitor.
I finally got unpacked in my office, and my beautiful
first
49-inch monitor must have gotten dinged, and it was like quadruple wrapped. But when you turned it on, you got the rainbow. And then I called because I happen to have a Shurion plan, and they're like, yeah, you get market value. I'm like, how much is market value? They're like $200. I'm
$200.
Like, it's a $1,500 monitor. I have the receipt. $1,500, $200.
$200.
I don't have money to buy another monitor. And so now I'm looking to buy 2 monitors because I need at least 2. But they're like $700. They never used to be $700.
We saved up for that monitor.
I'm like
that sucks.
So upset about that.
When I say that we did every single thing we could that I feel like was right to wrap it, I just don't know how it got injured. And there's no crack on the screen. It's like internally not working.
Just hit the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get off, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, tomorrow we will have a vlog video coming out. It's not super long. It's all about eating. So hopefully you guys will check out that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button so you're notified when it comes out. Wednesday, Rachel will be back live
10 a.m.
at 10 a.m.
Join
over
Mighty
in
Networks.
the paid version of our Mighty Networks
Meatheads group.
Members.2crazyketos.com. Have a good night, guys.
We love you.